Okay, in this video I'm going to do an example showing you how to draw the waveform for a B8ZS scrambling. And the idea here is that we're using AMI encoding. So AMI encoding where the rule is that a 0 bit gives us 0 volts and a 1 bit gives us alternating plus V and minus V. And when we follow this rule, what we've got is what we call a bipolar, a normal bipolar transition where we go from positive V to minus V every time we get a 1. Okay? And V just stands for some voltage. Here it's labeled V0. And the idea is that when we get 8 zeros in a row, for example, here we have a bunch of zeros in a row, we're going to do a replacement. We're going to actually replace the 8 zeros with a sequence which violates the alternating rule, okay, and puts 2 plus V's in a row, for example, and that's called a violation, or 2 minus V's in a row, and that's also called a violation. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to replace 8 zeros. And I'll group them into 2 groups of 4 here with 0, 0, 0, and then a bipolar violation, meaning that whatever the previous non-zero voltage was, we're going to repeat it. If the previous non-zero voltage was plus V, then this violation becomes a plus V. Let me label this with a subscript 0 here, so we don't confuse a voltage V with a violation V. So after 3 zeros we put in a violation, and then we have what's called a normal bipolar. So we switch the polarity from plus to minus or minus to plus, and then a 0, and then another bipolar violation, and then that's supposed to be a violation. Getting used to this pencil here. And then a normal bipolar AMI encoding. So for example, well, let me just do this example down here and show you how this works. What I'll do is I'll fill in, this is a homework problem, and I'm going to fill in some different bits into the spaces here. So let's suppose I got a 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. And now I have a bunch of zeros, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 zeros in a row. And maybe I'll have another place where I have 8 zeros in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then some 1s. Okay, so I've got 2 places where I'm going to do a substitution, so I'm using different bit pattern than the one shown here. And so what we'll do is we will start with the 1. The 1 here means that we're going to have either a plus or a minus V, and we have to choose. Let's suppose that we start with a plus V here for that 1. Then the 0 gives us a 0 voltage. Then the next 1 gives us a normal bipolar transition, meaning that we're alternating between positive and negative. So the last non-zero was positive, so I go negative here. And now I get another 1, and this is another bipolar transition. And finally a third one and a third bipolar transition. So every time we get a 1, we alternate between plus and minus V. Zeros go back to 0 volts. Now I get a 1, a normal bipolar goes up, and then a normal bipolar goes down, then a 0, and this 1 here goes up, and now I have 8 zeros. Now I'm going to do the substitution. So I'm going to do 3 zeros, and then a violation, and then a normal bipolar transition, a 0, a violation, and a normal bipolar. and it looks like this. The 3 zeros first. You know what I like to do? I like to go ahead and write in V, B, 0, V, B. I like to write that pattern in when I do these. So a violation is now, if we had a normal bipolar, it would go down here because the last one was up, but a violation goes up. Now we have 2 positive pulses in a row. That's a violation. Now a normal bipolar transition for a B, a 0. Now I have another violation, and so I'm going to go down. And finally another normal bipolar. And so I've done the 8-0 substitution. I happen to have some more zeros, but they're just normal zeros going at 0 volts. Now we have a 1. This one's going to be a normal bipolar transition, so since the last one was up, we go down. And then I have 8 more zeros in a row, so I'm going to go 0, 0, 0, V, B, 0, V, B. And 3 zeros in a row, and then a violation, then a normal bipolar. I don't know what happened to my bit there. Then a 0, then another violation, and then another bipolar. And then 1s give me normal bipolars, negative, positive, negative, positive. Okay, so this is an example. B8ZS, sometimes called crazy eights by technicians in the field, added on with 0 substitutions added on to the AMI encoding. And I hope this helps.